Revelation 7. After this I saw 4 angels standing at the 4 corners of the earth.
So in chapter 6, we had the opening of the scroll, and there were 7 seals, but only 6 are mentioned in chapter 6. And now we're seeing, before the 7th seal is broken, we're seeing something else here.
Holding back the 4 winds of the earth, to prevent any wind from blowing on the land, or on the sea, or on any tree. Then I saw another angel coming up from the east, having the seal of the living God. He called out in a loud voice to the 4 angels who had been given power to harm the land and the sea.
All right, so those 4 angels that were holding back the winds, their mission was to do harm. But they were holding back the winds and the destruction until this other angel could seal the servants of the living God. Till we put the seal on the foreheads of the servants of our God.
Do not harm the land or the sea or the trees until we put a seal on the foreheads of the servants of our God. Then I heard the number of those who were sealed, 144,000 from all the tribes of Israel.
All right, so 144,000 from the Jews, the literal descendants of Jacob, and the 12,000 from each tribe. So this is a good thing. When you receive the seal of God on your head, on your forehead, that's a good thing. And the angels are holding back the winds and the destruction until the 144,000 receive the seal on their foreheads.
From the tribe of Judah, 12,000 were sealed.
All right, so now with this mention of specific number, 12,000 sealed, I guess that weighs back into the debate of salvation by grace or by works. So who was chosen to be sealed? There were only 12,000 from each tribe, specifically. So that indicates that God chose whom to seal. God chose whom to purchase. God chooses who to bestow grace on. And He chooses 12,000 exactly from each of the tribes of Israel. Now, I guess you would have to suppose that exactly, if you believe in salvation by merit, that exactly the same number of people would meet the criteria for salvation, which I certainly would not hold to. So God chooses exactly 12,000 from each of the tribes by His own sovereignty and by His own will. He chooses a specific number of Jews to be saved.
From the tribe of Reuben, 12,000. From the tribe of Gad, 12,000. From the tribe of Asher, 12,000. From the tribe of Naphtali, 12,000. From the tribe of Manasseh, 12,000. From the tribe of Simeon, 12,000. From the tribe of Levi, 12,000. From the tribe of Issachar, 12,000. From the tribe of Zebulun, 12,000. From the tribe of Joseph, 12,000. From the tribe of Benjamin, 12,000.
There also wasn't a tribe of Joseph. But Joseph is mentioned because he was one of the children of Jacob. But he didn't have a tribe. So that's something to think about. But I think the overall point here is God choosing a specific number of people to be sealed and protected from the destruction that was about to take place.
After this I looked, and there before me was a great multitude that no one could count, from every nation, tribe, people, and language, standing before the throne and before the Lamb.
All right, so we have two groups of people. 144,000 Jews, specifically counted out equally from 12 tribes. And you have a number of people so great that no one could count from every nation, tribe, and language on all the earth that also were picked by God and protected. So I don't think we should expect these numbers to be exactly literal, that only 144,000 Jews would be saved and an innumerable amount of people from every other nation. But it also gives the indication that the Jews are limited in number in heaven, and the Gentiles far outpace or exceed the number of Jews in heaven.
They were wearing white robes and were holding palm branches in their hands, and they cried out in a loud voice, "Salvation belongs to our God, who sits on the throne, and to the Lamb."
All right, salvation belongs to God and Jesus. So these are Christians because they know who Jesus is, they know who the Lamb is, and they are giving Him praise. So
all the angels were standing around the throne and around the elders and the four living creatures. They fell down on their faces before the throne and worshipped God, saying, "Amen. Praise and glory and wisdom and thanks and honor and power and strength be to our God forever and ever. Amen."
So these are the angels praising God. I don't know. I mean, it's not the multitudes of people in the 144,000 Jews, but it's the angels who are praising God at this point.
Then one of the elders asked me, "These in white robes, who are they? And where did they come from?" I answered, "Sir, you know." And he said,
So one of the 24 elders asking John, who are these multitudes of people in white robes? Where did they come from? And I don't know if John didn't know or was afraid he would be wrong, but he certainly understood that the elder who was asking the question, he wasn't asking to find out the answer. He was asking to see if John knew who they were. So John just said, "Sir, you know who they are."
said, "These are they who have come out of the great tribulation. They have washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb."
So these multitudes of people in the white robes, more than anyone could count, are the ones who came out of the great tribulation. And I think that great tribulation is the destruction of Jerusalem in 70 AD. And if they came out of that, I think that would mean they died during that tribulation. That they are now in heaven because they died. And they died in the great tribulation. So many Christians, these are all Christians, who have washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. Multitudes beyond number of Christians died in the Great Tribulation. Now, a lot of people are still waiting for this Great Tribulation and think it may happen in our future, but I believe everything in the book of Revelation was written about things that must shortly take place. These visions and prophecies are concerning things that were imminent, about to take place, at the door. And the Romans did a fantastic job of creating a great tribulation for both the Jews and the Gentiles.
Therefore, They are before the throne of God, and serve him day and night in his temple. And he who sits on the throne will shelter them with his presence. Never again will they hunger, never again will they thirst.
So that's an indication that before they died, they did hunger and thirst. That they were part of the siege of Jerusalem, and they didn't have food or water or anything to drink, and they died.
The sun will not beat down on them, nor any scorching heat. For the Lamb at the center of the throne will be their shepherd. He will lead them to springs of living water, and God will wipe away every tear from their eyes.
So that sounds to me like this is talking about the peace that we have, not on earth, because earth results in great tribulations, famine, death, and destruction. But the great peace that Christians will have after they die and live in the presence of God and Jesus. So, with the Jehovah's Witness apparently thinking that only 144,000 people will be saved, I don't even see how they can conclude that. To me, it's apparent that there's multitudes beyond number that will be saved, and only 144,000 Jews, but multitudes of Gentiles. These are in the same group of people. These are all people that were either sealed with the seal of God on their foreheads, or these multitudes that wore white robes and served in God's temple, that were from every tribe. I would be glad to be in either one of those groups. But since I'm not a literal Jew, my hope is in being in the multitudes in white robes.